Hey guys, it's Steve with Dealer's Choice Auto Transport. I'm en route to pick up Lionel, who I know for many years. Big car guy, loves cars, very knowledgeable about the industry, and I think you're going to enjoy getting a chance to meet him. So we're here. Lionel's getting in the car.
Hi guys.
Hey buddy, great to see you. You ready to roll?
Yes.
Let's do it. I just want to tell people about Lionel. Lionel's been in the car business for 20 years. Very knowledgeable about the exotic and highline world. Been doing business with Lionel for a long time, became friends, working together. Let me ask you, Lionel, so how did you actually get into the car business? Because you're in many different industries around the world.
My professional background is in music. I worked for Warner Brothers and Capitol Records in Paris, London, and Los Angeles. As a natural extension, I went into the fashion business and started designing women's couture wear in New York. And
that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, it was just incredible moving from Paris, which is the city where I grew up. Following a few years in Los Angeles, I moved to Florida.
It's a hell of a different world, California and Florida, though.
Yes, and left my fragrance distribution company to my spouse and decided to start anew. And I wondered, well, what do I like best? So I thought, well, Rolls Royce. So
you went right into the top of cars. You didn't even waste any time. I mean, you literally went.
Well, it didn't really go that way, but I got there.
Right.
So what happens is that I went straight to Rolls Royce, and they said, of course not, you have no experience, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, I have 30 years of retail experience, whatever. And then I went to Porsche. They told me, no. So I went to Ford. I said, you know what? I'm going to get where I want to be anyway. It doesn't matter what it takes.
Right, but meanwhile, you're selling product that's,
so
a handbag that costs more than some of those Fords.
Oh, absolutely. So I went one night for dinner at a bar locally, and this gentleman was sitting next to me, and he's like, what do you do? I said, well, I just accepted a job with Hyundai. He's like, oh, what in the world would you be doing with Hyundai? I said, well, that's the only place I could find a position.
He's like, on the automotive world, though.
Yeah. So he said, come tomorrow, you have a job at Porsche. I'm like, okay.
Oh, that was interesting.
And what's funny is I was the marketing director for Porsche Dauer Racing in Germany.
Yeah, but you also worked in the Ferrari world for a little while as well, if I recall.
Yes, I did for 6 years, and it was very successful, and I met extremely interesting customers.
When I ordered the 296 Ferrari, if you want a 296, you need to order this car as well. I get it, that's not a problem. It helps expand their market share of cars on the road, and it helps keep the customer, I guess you would say, engaged. It's like, hey, if you want this, you have to get that. And Porsche does the same thing. If you want to get to certain levels and brands of cars, you want a GT2 or a 918 or a GT3 RS. It's it's part of the business. People call it a game. I call it strategy, and it's created a tremendous loyalty to the brand. Me, I'm a whore. I buy them all. I don't care. Ferrari, Lamborghini, Porsche. I love all of them. But now, when you were between Rolls Royce and, let's say, Ferrari, because you were heavily involved in those two brands, the consumer seems to be the same.
A large portion of them are. For example, a real Ferrari collector will use a Rolls Royce as an everyday car.
Right.
The Rolls Royce customer rarely is into Ferraris. The true Rolls Royce customers, because they just like Rolls Royce, period.
Right, it's just the brand of choice.
Like the brand, they like the comfort, the what it projects.
But it's generally also an older crowd in general.
Not anymore. The demographics are changing greatly now.
Well, today we have a much younger crowd with money than we've ever had.
Ever.
If you think about it, the amount of young professionals and business owners, and they're heavily into cars, they love cars, and they don't mind buying them anywhere in the country, or even around the world, some of them.
Ooh,
wow. You see that?
Oh, somebody ran the light.
That's unbelievable. I mean, the entire industry and the car market's evolved. What do you think the biggest change has been since you've gotten the car business? And I'm not talking on the finance side, I'm talking about the actual cars themselves.
In the super high level?
just in Rolls Royce and Ferrari.
Okay, I'll tell you what it is. I've been preaching to these brands to get into customizing, catering to customers to make their own cars, think them, create them.
Oh, and I guess and that's where Ferrari now has what they call tailor-made.
Tailor-made, and for Rolls-Royce, it's bespoke.
Right.
So that changed the whole picture. I started preaching that with the CEO of Rolls-Royce in 2017. It has become their largest share of profit ever. Because
Right.
you have people ordering, and you know, each car that I sold, let's say it should be 350,000. My car was 450.
Right, because they special ordered what they
Because I
specifically
make
want.
it special. I mean, you have Rolls-Royce up to $28 million. You know?
Right. It's unbelievable.
It's like incredible.
These cars are becoming, priced and ranged to where people wish, their homes were that much, What were the biggest challenges you actually had when it came to automotive transport?
Well, actually, I didn't really have a big challenge because when I was working for dealerships, I used your services. Because you solved that challenge, which is reliability, quality of service, know-how, because we transport extremely expensive cars.
Yeah,
and they have to be treated as such and properly, so there's no damage, so we have happy customers. And truly, as far as I remember, I was using your services as far as 18 years ago.
Yeah, that's true.
And
yeah, because when you came to the dealership, we were already working with those stores.
Yep. But I chose your company because I knew I didn't have to worry about it. The job would be done properly. The cars would not be damaged. And it gave me peace of mind.
We took the brain damage away from the industry.
Peace of mind.
All right, we're pulling up to the pizza place.
Oh.
Our favorite pizza.
That's the one.
Yeah. So, what was your most memorable moments, would you say, working at those brands? What really stood out?
Perhaps with the customer was to create a completely bespoke car for somebody who never had a Rolls Royce before.
Right.
And actually somebody who didn't necessarily want one, but you convince them that that's the world they belong to. That's their world.
Yeah,
and then you design and build it for them.
To their loving, not even their liking, to their
you
loving.
You help them create the dream that they never had.
Out of the brands you've worked with and the cars you worked with, is there any specific car that really stood out to you that was just, wow,
Two. The Phantom and the Ferrari FF.
Really? The FF?
I adored the FF. And actually I did a lot of tracking with it, a lot of racing on tracks.
Right.
And this car is such perfection, the way it's built, and drive, it's just mind-boggling.
Now that you're out of the car side of the sales side, and now you're working here at Dealer's Choice, how do you like it here? What's different about it?
It's not that much different in the sense
clients.
In the sense that I have the same clients, and the clients that we cater to as you're a very high level, transporter, are sophisticated people who drive higher line cars and exotic cars.
Right.
And so it's the same type of customers, overall.
Yeah,
so it's not a different world. The interaction between us and the customer is fairly similar.
Right. But the only, with auto transport, it's a very touchy, feely. Where is it? How is it? Which I get it in the same respect with, when they're waiting for their cars coming from the factory and building.
Same.
But there's much more of an instant gratification on auto transport. It's, where is he? What time is he showing up? Is it going to be here? Is it going to be there? If you're slightly an hour delayed, everybody's upset because of traffic. And so it's a little different,
What always amazed me with your company, Dealer's Choice Auto Transport, is that there's a level of sophistication that's not found with
in the
any
industry.
other transporter.
No, and you've used
Period.
and you know and you've been to other places in between where I know
Well, because I have no choice.
right, yeah, so where they had to use other companies and you know, and you've used even some of the big brands that everybody knows, and it's just
It's not the same.
it's not the same. There's no personal touch. There's
None.
no. You're just a. It's like just being a.
It's your number.
You're just a number in line. Yeah. You have actually one more interesting question, and I think you'd be the right guy to ask. So, being that you've dealt for 20 years with the luxury car market, you know, and exotics, why do you think more people should actually utilize auto transport versus, you know, driving their cars? You know, any opinion on that?
Sure. First of all, dealer's choice would be the choice for the reasons we've spoken about so many times, you know,
Right.
reliability, communication, promptness, insurance, etc. But when you have an exotic car or very, very high-line car,
Right, a nice luxury.
it doesn't make sense because most of the time transportation is long distance.
Right. Right, you're not driving from, you know, Miami to Fort Pierce
No.
when you're shipping a car. Right, we're talking about long distance
Yeah,
shipping.
so it doesn't make sense to put like a precious car at risk for days on the road, whether
And you know what, even the
Accidents.
individual, their own personal risk.
wear
you
and
know?
tear, accidents, you name it.
Yeah.
And sometimes value of the car that goes down because of mileage on certain exotic cars. Plus that simple mathematics. When you drive, like let's say a Ferrari or a Phantom or something like this long distance,
Right.
just the tires, the wearage, is going to cost you more than transporting the
That's
car.
true.
You know what driving a Phantom to the West Coast will cost you in tires?
Oh, $4,000, $5,000 just in tires.
$8,000.
Oh, just for tires.
Yeah. So
So ship your car for a few grand is cheap in comparison.
you ship it for $4,000 or less.
Right.
So
I appreciate it. I appreciate your time today.
oh, thank you, Steve, and it's a pleasure working for your organization, and I'm proud to be part of it. Thank you.
I appreciate it. So we're here at the end of the day here at Dealer's Choice Auto Transport at the office. Just want to thank everybody for keeping an eye out for Dealer's Choice on YouTube. Just subscribe, make some comments. Let's have some fun. I'd love to respond. Love the stupidity that I see everybody writing. I love to respond back to it. Let everybody know how ignorant they are sometimes.